on Storyboard, Kipchoge didn't break the 2-hour mark for a full marathon. Yet, what made Nike's Breaking 2 initiative so compelling to watch? What is Kotak Mahindra Bank's new campaign 811 all about? We speak to Karthi Marshan, Senior EVP and Head Group Marketing, Kotak Mahindra Bank, to find out. And we catch up with Govind Srikhande, Customer Care Associate and MD Shopperstop, about the new Start Something New campaign for the retail brand. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. Who would have thought that a full marathon could have you glued to your seats? Nike's Breaking 2 campaign, which was an attempt to break the 2-hour barrier for running a full marathon, most definitely broke a myth that watching people run marathons is boring. Nike enlisted 3 of its athletes, Lelisa Desesa, Eliud Kipchoge and Zersinet Adise, to attempt something ambitious and considered humanly impossible, breaking the 2-hour barrier for a full marathon. Each of the runners was wearing a customized version of Nike's new racing shoe, the Zoom Vaporfly Elite, which Nike claims can reduce energy needed to run by 4%. Taking place at the Monza F1 track in Italy, this event was live streamed on social media platforms with the aim of promoting both the shoe and the record attempt. While Kipchoge narrowly missed the 2-hour barrier by 25 seconds as he managed an astonishing time of 2 hours 25 seconds, he ran an impressive 2 minutes 32 seconds faster than the official world record. This event provided some great PR for the brand, and the attempt got several million mentions for the brand on social media platforms. Even global rivals such as Adidas couldn't stop themselves from congratulating Kipchoge for his effort. Let's take a look at what the fuss was all about.
Today, I have learned that impossible is possible. Yes, and the next generation should know that there is nothing impossible in this world. You can go beyond any limit. Yes, and secondly is that really focus and determination and also hope can take you somewhere. So for the last 7 months, I've been really focusing, training hard, and preparing for this Breaking 2. And lastly is that self-discipline actually has proved that it can bear fruits.
Being a runner, my last weekend went by watching this spectacle and then discussing it with my runner friends. In fact, the most interesting spin to Breaking 2 was when people started discussing on social media platforms, what is your Breaking 2 or your most demanding task? Well, we leave you with this thought for now. Moving on, Kotak Mahindra Bank recently launched 811 banking app, through which customers will be able to open an account on this banking app with zero balance. The concept was born out of India's increasing and ongoing thrust towards a digital economy. In fact, 811 is a reminiscence of the day that changed India, 8th November 2016, and brought millions into the fold of digital transactions in the country. They have also launched a new TVC around this app, and the media approach is based on India's favorite annual cricketing phenomena, IPL. The TVC also features IPL hosts such as Sameer Kochar, Gaurav Kapoor and Archana Vijaya, who speak about the functions of this app. Storyboard editor Antrangaswamy caught up with Karthi Marshan, Senior EVP and Head Group Marketing, Kotak Mahindra Bank, and spoke to him about this new campaign. Let's take a look at this conversation.
Karthi, to begin with, why the name 811?
So clearly, we had the opportunity to think of this product, this opportunity to allow people to open their own accounts on the fly in an app thanks to two things that happened. The first was demonetization, which started driving this agenda in this country for going more and more digital for payments, for banking, for transactions, etc. And the truth is, December 8th, 1 month later, is when the RBI announced this change in regulation where they allowed people and banks to open accounts on the fly using Aadhaar as the KYC document via an OTP validation. So it was a marriage of these two things, but obviously 8/11 was the more iconic date, and therefore we picked that as the landmark on the back of which to do this.
So tell me now that we are having this chat almost a month after you launched it, is that right? Or more, little more. So tell me, what has it done? You know, it's all very well, it's nice advertising, it's glitzy stuff, but have you achieved lowering your cost of acquisition of new accounts?
It's very, very early days, obviously, but the first month has been incredibly heartening. It's easy for me to say that we busted our targets for the first month, but obviously our targets were very low because nobody had any clue. We were dealing with the unknown. But what I can say is, benchmark to my cost of acquisition in the traditional channels where my colleagues would go via the branches and acquire customers, the cost has come down by a factor of 10 easily. And in terms of volume, we are already matching what is happening in the branches, and we expect to exceed it as well once this takes its hopefully hockey stick.
Now, the problem is with your Aadhaar verification, there's only so much you can do. You still need a physical verification before you...
No. So that's where this regulation, I think, is quite remarkable. I'll explain that. So with this Aadhaar verification, so essentially you bung in your Aadhaar number, UDAI sends an OTP to us, to the phone from where the Aadhaar number is going in, and we effectively get all your Aadhaar details. Your KYC is effectively done. There is still one leg to be done, but that is not to use the account. You can use the account from that instant on. You can deposit into that account as much as 2 lakhs over a period of a year. At any point in time, there's a limit of 1 lakh, but the truth is most bank accounts in this country don't have anywhere near a lakh at any point in time. So in that sense, it's a fully functional bank account within 5 minutes or if you having entered your Aadhaar OTP into the phone. The thing that has to be done is somewhere during that 1 year, either I have to come to you or you have to come to the branch and stick your thumb on a biometric device, which is what they call electronic KYC. That's all that's left to do. What we are also doing is we are actively and aggressively, wherever we see that the account looks like it will have traction, we are setting up appointments and we are going out and fulfilling the sticking on the biometric. So my people are carrying on little devices, you stick your thumb and boom.
Now, one of the objectives in any bank is not just open a savings bank account, you want to upsell, side sell. So are those things as easily possible with these new 811 accounts as opposed to your traditional brick and mortar accounts?
So again, let me share some heartening data that's already emerging. The accounts that are already in place, and it's just been a month, we are already seeing 43% of the transactions in those accounts are happening for non-banking things, like buying movie tickets, shopping on e-commerce, doing funds transfers via IMPS and so on, which of course honestly is banking. But the other stuff, which is shopping, e-commerce, rail tickets, bus tickets, etc., all that is as much as 43% of transactions already. So it's clear to us that it looks like these people who are early adopters are getting it much faster than the traditional customers got it as well.
But what about other high margin business like selling them auto loans, housing loans, insurance, which normally bankers
all of that
like
is obviously on the cards. One is that when we do go to get their thumbprint on the biometric device, we have an interaction opportunity. That's our first chance to try to do any of these things, to size up the customer and see what she needs and figure out what else we can offer at that stage. We are also building within the app and around the app and via email and SMS and the other communication channels we have, including the ATM, we are building targeted sales products for these customers as well.
Now tell me, are you seeing a sort of shift in the demographics of your 811 customer as opposed to earlier? Are they
younger?
All kinds of demographics.
So I know it sounds like a cliche, but so far at least it appears that they've moved younger. So we are seeing the band between 25 to 35 is where the bulk of the action currently is. The somewhat disheartening thing for me is that it's still 90% male, and that stereotype about both banking as well as technology seems to be alive and well, and I'm not happy about that, and we're trying to see what else we can do about that. So for example, come Mother's Day, we're trying to provoke sons to get their mums to open accounts, because a lot of mums, like my mum, is a very cool mum and she is very tech savvy, but they haven't made that leap yet of opening the bank account on their own, for example. So we're trying to see whether that can change the conversation for women as well.
So it's not so long ago that you made a virtue out of your branch network and your ATM network when you did Kona Kona Kotak. Now this has got nothing, there's no Konas anymore, it's all demolished. So are you seeing new geographies opening up? That is, for example, accounts coming from physical areas where you would never have got a customer anyway?
We are seeing huge demand. Small towns where cutting edge mobile banking which is not available through the bank that may be existing there, or there's no branch there at all, these people are actually clamoring. We did a survey to see whether people in cities where there are no branches, forget mine, anybody's, would be willing to open such an account. Overwhelmingly, 83% of them said yes, they'd be willing to open an account. We also asked, would you be willing to, how far would you be willing to go to stick your thumb on that device once in the year? Right. And as much as 25%, if I'm not mistaken, said they'd be willing to travel even 5 hours because it's a one trip.
Right. Finally, this product depends on bandwidth, on availability of signals, all kinds of things. So, how do you see that playing in helping or not helping your product?
Okay. So, the bandwidth challenge is actually only for downloading the app the first time, because that's about 10 MB, and that 10 MB certainly can be a challenge, particularly for a lot of prepaid customers who pay very little for their bandwidth, etc. So they have to look for Wi-Fi environments. We are seeing that about 27% of our customers are downloading in Wi-Fi environments largely. So we see that signal. But when you're transacting, it's actually just bytes of data, small bytes of data which are traveling, like SMS. It's as little as SMS. So that actually doesn't require a lot of bandwidth. So we don't see that as a challenge, honestly.
Okay, so to close now, 1 year from now, how do you see 811 in your balance sheet, in your KRAs? How big or how small will it be?
Our founder has already stuck his neck out at the launch and stated a number, so I don't have to do anything more than that. So he said that he's expecting us to double the bank's customer base coming in the next 18 months. And the number quoted for now is about 8 million. So go figure.
Okay. All the best, Karthi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anant.
It is time for us to take a short break. When we return, we get to see the new campaign for Shoppers Stop, and we also speak to Govind Srikhande, Customer Care Associate and MD, Shoppers Stop, about this campaign.